Hello, my name is Kiana Browning. This is the first of my art vlogs, and hopefully I can make these speed drawings more interesting with me talking over it and using the art. Basically, I want to do these every time I make an art piece that I really care about, and talk to you about the show that inspired me or the art subject that took my interest and made me draw these, and talk about my experiences with them because I really like anime and video games, and I really started to love fan pieces. I used to not because they used to be really bad like a decade ago. I only started watching anime seriously in high school. Before that, like since I was 10 years old to being in high school, see, like half a decade, at least half a decade, I stopped watching because I accidentally watched Akira and it traumatized me. So I avoided adult anime. And then in high school, I started watching Full Metal Alchemist or in High School Host Club and basically became an otaku like overnight. So I missed a lot. But luckily, I caught up real quick, especially with English dubs. I basically just listen in the background while I'm doing other things. Even though I'm supposed to be watching the animation, I really wish I could, but I really don't have time to read the English dubs. I really don't. This was originally supposed to be this big art project I did with 26 characters, and that took over a year, but it got deleted twice. Once I did 10 characters, and then when I did 20 characters and I had a handful of characters left. But I tried everything and there's just no doing it the way I wanted to do it. So I decided to move on to making the fan manga of the fanfiction Erase Potential by the Slytherin Paladin. So basically I'm just making a manga of this for fun. Since I really like the fanfiction, I basically got inspired to do this because I was looking for fanfictions about Deku without powers or Deku being evil and things like that. And I liked the one where he was trained by Stain, but that was YouTube only, so I was looking for something that I could read and reread and make a manga of. Basically something with more details in it. And so I made this, which is the cover and 2 pages, and I really like this second page. The Erased Potential fanfiction basically has Deku being trained by Eraserhead, and basically Deku already knew who Eraserhead was, so he went to his house, apartment, place, and he just asked to be trained by him since they're both basically quirkless, or Aizawa makes other villains who have quirks quirkless so that they're on an even playing field, and he just wants to learn how to fight. So Izuku convinces Aizawa to train him, and then he goes through a lot of physical training, I guess, since he already has quirk knowledge, and that's what Aizawa is interested in, and that's what convinced him to take on Deku as a student. And over the course of the fan fiction, they become closer, even closer than Izuku and All Might were, because they don't seem that close in the show, to be honest. And you kind of feel like Aizawa becomes like Dadzawa, like he's become a real father figure to Izuku. And so that'll be really interesting to get to the emotional parts of the fan fiction if I get there. So really looking forward to that. The first page was kind of hard to do starting out since it's a digital manga and I'm really not familiar with the tools yet, but one thing I'm really looking forward to is making the poses because I like the Spider-Man comics. I haven't read too much of them. I really like the action and acrobatics in Spider-Man, so I'm going to try my best to make something like that and also base this fan manga off of the original manga. I'm going to try to make the manga as close as to the official manga art style as I can during the time in the beginning, since it changed so much over time. It's really taking so long to do this in between pages since I've been drawing so many other things and basically practicing, but this is me practicing how to draw manga basically with all the panels and dialogue and storytelling even though it's based off of a fan fiction that's already done by somebody else. And luckily, the fanfiction writer already gave his approval on it, and I didn't want to keep on drawing it without his approval so that I can show others. But I really like to practice some manga drawing skills on it. Even if it's digital, I still like to do it. It's just hard to find the special effects that I want. Like, these are free ones in the background here. When I first experienced My Hero Academia, it's basically the first or second season. When it came out, I was basically pretty late to the game, but I heard a lot of good things about it, and I was unsure. And so it took a while to actually watch it, but once I started getting into it, I got into it more than the people who recommended it to me. So I became a fan pretty fast. And yeah, I really do like it. And my favorite character is, I think Eraserhead more than Hawks. I just like how Aizawa uses his powers to even up the playing field, so I really like that. And his acrobatics. I really haven't seen Hawks use his quirk too much. Yeah, he kind of showed up late into the anime, so I really want to see how well that goes. And I wasn't really sure about him at first, but I'm liking him more and more. What I really like about this fanfiction is we get a little more look into Aizawa and Deku as still quirkless, basically. So they're basically both like Batman and Robin to me. And I really like Batman and Robin, especially Damian Robin, but that's nothing like Deku. I'm really excited about drawing this fan manga. I have some really good plans for it, and I really like how this second page turned out with the panels and all that and the perspective. It was a bit difficult on the far right panel here, the long one, but I really like how it turned out. And I thought the perspective would be really wonky, but I did okay, I think. The thing about Deku's hair is I think it's starting to look samey, even though it's only been 2 pages, but I feel like I'm starting to draw his hair the same way every time, and I want more variety. It's more difficult than I thought it'd be. Luckily, over time of using these brushes with the Adobe brushes, I learned some techniques to make things go faster with the different types of brushes. So hopefully the art will look better over time. The next few pages will feel like the official manga, but I'm gonna do it in a different perspective so that it's not all samey, even though it's a recap. But basically, I didn't really see in the fanfiction how Deku noticed Aizawa. He just does in the beginning, and he just suddenly shows up at his door. And even though the cover sees Deku at the door nervously, and then the first page he's inside the house already, I didn't want to rearrange the recap in front of the first page when he's already inside, since the first chapter didn't do that anyhow. And I want to fill up the pages for the first chapter so that it's more like as many pages as an actual manga, but usually the first chapter of a manga is 50 pages, so I really can't even do half that, but at least I can do more than 10 pages, because if I went strictly by the fanfiction, it'd be less than 10 pages, to be honest, so I'm going to try to fill it up. Luckily, the subsequent chapters are roughly around 20 or so it won't be so egregious. So that was my art vlog. Basically, it's mainly for me so that I can keep my thoughts in line and remember what happened during the times that I made these art pieces. That's the other art piece that I was working on. It really took a long time. And so I was in between the pages of this fan manga, so it's good to get back into this and start doing and move on to other art pieces. And hopefully I can get those done much quicker, and hopefully we can have some more pages so I can get to the more interesting parts of this fan manga. I really want to get back into it, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. So this is the news segment of my art vlogs. Basically, I talk about my current progress on my other art projects, and since it's the first art vlog, it's going to be a bit long since I have a lot of other things going on right now at the same time, but mainly individually, the progresses aren't much to begin with, since I'm doing them all at once instead of focusing on one point at a time. But basically, I have an animation process to do with Adobe Animate and ShapeTweens, and so the editing will with DaVinci Resolve, the editing, I'm still working on it. It's a new kind of animation process with vector animation. And if I get it right, the animation process won't be so daunting. I just need to get the foundation done. And then I'll be cranking out art projects. And then doing commissions for the art animations. And of course, other kinds of digital art, but mainly for animations purposes. I just want to get my animation series done and get the process finalized so that other animators can do this. That's really important. So my animation studio, Jard Productions, G-A-R-D Productions, is not up and running yet since I'm still working on the animation process, and it's a new kind of animation process. And this art vlog series won't really help with that. It's just for digital art purposes, since I'm not going to record my animations whatsoever. It's just to record me drawing and stuff, that's about it. See, I am currently writing a book. It's a historical fiction novel, as in fantasy, if magic was always real. I'm calling the first one Modern Dungeon. So I got the concepts down, I just need the character development done. Like all of the side characters, the side main characters are done. They have their character traits and character developments. I have them all planned out, but I don't have the main character, and she is kind of bland right now, so I'm gonna try to iron it out, and then I already have the outline, and then I'm gonna write the book itself after that, because I really need a main character to be good. She needs to be really good and believable. So yeah, that was the new segment, and basically that big art project really set me back. Ugh. Do you like this incense burner I got here? I found it at Walmart, and basically I like the whole idea of it with the white tiger and the black dragon. Yeah, it's really cool, especially when it burns and the smoke flows down into the pool. It still flows out around here because it's not deep enough, but yes, basically I like it. It's too bad every time I burn an incense, I have to wipe it with the sponge and all that because it keeps on burning itself and keeps on getting dirty, but I still like it. It takes a minute and it quickly burns out in a minute too, and when the heater comes on, it kind of just blows everywhere and it kind of gets my face. So basically I try to burn it every time I record these videos so that you kind of see it, but it's not really showing up because the heat keeps on coming on. So I guess during the summer I'm gonna have to do it more. And hopefully you'll see more of that too.